Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Judge angry over Nyadu Boahene'S tricks in court. Ebuboba. When we say it, we mean it. Until we see the end of it, we never rest. There is a hall nicknamed Katanga Hall right there at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And their motto is, we rest not. That was where I had my training as a radio person. And I am proud to say, I rest not until the work is done to the glory of the Most High God. It looks like Nyadu Boahene'S is done. And I am excited at that. I don't like cheats. I don't like thieves. I don't like fraudsters. They are not my friends. They should not be your friends. My brother, my sister, for some months now, Nyadu Boahene'S has been running to court, left, right, and center. In fact, he is on the red notice and he can't fly out of the nation. My brother, my sister, investigators told us that he was the terror kid of the NSB that had his DNA and signature. What does it mean? He was the first to become the boss of the NSB, National Signals Bureau. He walked into the office of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and told him, Nana, you know how much work we have done for you to come into power. It is the digital age, and I am the digital whiz kid. So I am here to tell you that I need a certain outfit to be open for me under the national security. Nana couldn't cough. He said, go and consider it done. At the time, he even became more powerful than his own boss at the national security. He could make and unmake. He could make happy or sad. And this guy here, according to investigators, was a sadist. He hated it when people were happy. He was part of a kidnapping gang that picked up so many people, high and low profile. In fact, the one that hits the mind immediately, oh my God, that airline girl who was picked up, Emirates, she worked for, and she was kidnapped simply because he arrived at the airport late and the aeroplane gates were already closed. And he was angry that he, being the whiz kid of Ghana, who had Nana Addo in the middle of his palm, my brother, my sister, and probably the vice president in his pocket, the gates of the aeroplane must be opened for him to enter. They said, lie, we are not opening the gates of the aeroplane closed. When I spoke with him, he told me, Black Rasta, I arrived about 17 minutes before the gates were closed, and he showed me some footages on his phone. But I don't trust him anymore. This is a big liar. He lies more than Satan. I used to believe him right at the beginning, and he convinced me with lies until I dug deep around his background and I realized that this is Satan's uncle, my brother, my sister, and I decided that I will not listen to him again. We give everybody the chance. Talk, let us listen. We weigh you by what you say and your actions. And when we get to realize that you are the demon's grandson, we move back immediately. And you'll be shocked that you ever knew us. Because you wonder, he was my friend only a few years back. How come right now he's behaving like Satan? Yes, I could be Satan and I could be an angel depending on you. You play the game. My brother, my sister, this is Nyadu Boahene'S. He's been running to the court and his lawyer is the guy called Atachia. In fact, he is the lawyer in the whole world that I don't envy. He has a gargantuan tax on top of his head. I am not surprised all the hair on his head is gone. My brother, my sister, he's carrying a lot of heavy, hot load. And it's normal for anybody to lose their hair when they carry such hot, heavy loads. Hallelujah. Watch this. Now, Nyadu Boahene'S has been going to court left, right, and center. He's been charged. And it looks like The trial is almost ended. The judge is very angry. Remember, we told you about this judge. The judge, everyone says, is a no-nonsense judge. The judge who is trying to bring back the integrity of the judiciary in the view of many other luminary judges. My brother, my sister, we're talking about Justice Francis Akangabuno Achibunga. Justice Francis Apangabuno Achibunga. His name is enough to resurrect any criminal and kill them again, bury them and kill them again as many times as is necessary. This is the judge we're talking about. Hey, Eduin was in court yesterday, and he was also in court today. And it looks like he's the most uncomfortable tick in the skin of any animal. Hallelujah. Not many people might know this guy called Eduin. My brother, my sister, many Ghanaians cannot wait for the mouth of the prison to open to swallow this guy like Jonah was swallowed by the whale. But let us run a dossier on this guy. Come here. Watch this. Run the dossier. Hey, this is the guy we're talking about. He's an engineer. And he's called Kobna Edu Boahene. He's a Ghanaian intelligence and IT professional who served as the Director General of the National Signals Bureau from 2017 when it was created by Nyadu specifically for this whiskey. To early 2025, he was there for 8 solid years. My brother, oh yes. He's currently facing a high-profile criminal trial involving alleged financial misconduct during his tenure. Now appointed by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to lead the NSB, an agency under the National Security Council, he spent nearly 2 decades at the Bureau, starting in 2007. Oh Lord. He previously served as Deputy Director and held roles such as Head of Network Operations and Head of Core Network Planning and IT. This is Kobna Edu Boahene. He managed Ghana's secure communication infrastructure and provided signals intelligence to counter national security threats. Oh yes. He managed Ghana's secure communication infrastructure and provided signals intelligence to counter national security threats. He led the technical signals team that successfully located and rescued 2 kidnapped Canadian women in Kumasi in 2019. And we all heard about that. And we applauded him. Oh, what a great guy. Remember those Canadian women who were lost in Kumasi in 2019? Edu Boahene played a role, and we have talked about this over and over on this show. Now, he himself holds a Master of Science in Information Systems Management from the University of Liverpool, an MA, yes, MA in Peace, Security and Intelligence Management from UPSA, and a Bachelor of Science in Electronic Engineering from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology with secondary education at Achimota School. I'm sure Achimota School by now is so ashamed of this guy. Now, right now, following his tenure, Edu Boahene has been on trial at the Accra High Court since March 2025. 1 year gone. He and his wife are accused of stealing, money laundering, and causing financial loss to the state, totaling approximately 49.1 million Ghana cedis, an approximation of about 7 million American dollars. Prosecutors allege these funds intended for cybersecurity projects were diverted to his private firm, B.N.C Communications Bureau Limited. And that is very important. He diverted according to investigators. Okay? Now, his legal team led by Samuel Atachia has indicated that defending the case may involve revealing classified information. Now, the trial continues with bank statements admitted as evidence as from April 2026. This is Kobna Edu Boahene. What has he been accused of? What is he going through right now? Now watch this. Now the most recent development in the Eduin trial occurred this week. Yes, on April 20, 2026. That's just yesterday, as the Accra High Court continues to hear the 49.1 million Ghana cedi cybersecurity fraud case. My brother, my sister, eyewitnesses have been paraded, and prosecution witnesses are still being paraded. Today, there was one in court. And look at what happened. Yesterday, on April 20, 2026, the High Court, presided over by Justice Francis Achibonga, blocked the defense from using a swift transfer receipt from Eduin's private company, Advantage Solutions, during cross-examination. Now, the court ruled that the prosecution's finance witness had no personal knowledge of the private documents. Listen attentively. Now, the head of finance at the National Security Bureau, Miss Edith Ruby Opokuwa Edumwa, has been testifying about financial flows. Recent sessions involved disputes over WhatsApp chats that purportedly detailed requests for operational funds. And that was today in court, my brother, my sister. Now, Eduin remains on an 80 million Ghana cedi bail with two sureties. Now, his lawyer, Samuel Atachian, has urged that the funds were used for legitimate special operations, including payments to MPs and political activities, which he claims makes the case a matter of national security. Listen. He was part of a business called Glofert Company, which he established with his pastor. But he tried to swindle the pastor, as we were told. And investigators were quick to draw the attention of the pastor, a reverend minister of his own church. And he went back to the registration and the nitty-gritties of the business. And for now, he has been excommunicated from both the church and the business, a fertilizer making firm. My brother, my sister, in late 2024, Glofert was awarded a 15.75 million American dollar contract to supply 300,000 bags of granular fertilizer. And from my investigation, Eduin didn't have a hand in this. He only came in there and saw an opportunity and had stolen money, according to investigators, and decided to go into this. Now, it is located in Asuboi, Eastern region. It remains one of the largest fertilizer blending plants in West Africa, capable of producing 2,400 metric tons per day. Prosecutors allege that some of the 49.1 million diverted from the NSB was invested into the manufacturing of fertilizer at Glofert, and that's correct. Part of the stolen money, according to investigators, got into the Glofert business, but he was trying to manipulate the original owner of the business, whose church he was paying tithes to. And when they realized that he was a dangerous crook, they removed him from the church and also kicked him out of Glofert. Now, these are the summary of the charges against him: stealing, money laundering, and willfully causing financial loss, diverting 7 million meant for an Israeli cyber defense software, ISC Holdings, into personal accounts and companies. This is what it is. Now, the Economic and Organized Crime Office and the Attorney General's Department have identified and frozen an extensive portfolio of high-value assets allegedly linked to Kobna Eduin and his wife. Now, the state claims these acquisitions, in fact, coincide with the alleged diversion of 7 million American dollars, an equivalent of 49.1 million Ghana cedis from the National Signals Bureau. My brother, my sister, and look at what he owns, allegedly, as told to us by investigators. Mayfair Estate is a multiple luxury home, including number 2 Stream Park Drive, valued at 1 million American dollars, and number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 Edith Avenue. Vertex Properties at Oyarifa, a gated estate development consisting of 27 houses, each estimated at $295,000. Now the Dorchester, that's the Ashanti region, a recently uncovered 37-unit luxury apartment complex in Asokori, Mampo, and we showed you videos of this over and over. Nyadu and environs, several separate houses with individual values ranging from $500,000 American to $1 million American, all owned allegedly by Kobna Boahene'S, secured from stolen money, ill-gotten money, fraud money. He also has assets in London, in the UK. At least 2 properties have been tracked by investigators in the United Kingdom. And there is a fleet of luxury vehicles. Over 60 high-end cars are targeted for seizure, including a Lamborghini, Maserati, and multiple Cadillac Escalades and Range Rovers. And he has businesses too. Now the state has also placed surveillance on his fertilizer company, Glofert, and Dream Enterprise Collections Limited, and a car rented business. Now Glofert has actually been set aside for the time being because Eduin himself was trying to defraud the owner of the thing. But investigations continue. Eduin's legal team, led by Samuel Atachia, has argued in court that many of these properties were acquired as far back as 2017, years before the alleged 2020 crime. That's what he says. The Oyarifa houses belong to a business aggregation platform where external investors provided construction funds, not state money. Boahene'S was already a successful businessman before his 2018 appointment as a director general. Now, Iyoko has officially frozen approximately 50 million Ghana cedis in accounts linked to this and related cases to prevent further fund movement during the trial. This is Boahene'S. That is the dossier, very rich and heavy. My brother, my sister, he appeared in court yesterday and they asked him for receipts. It's been peddled around by a few boys on radio and TV that he might have paid. A lot of Ghanaians don't care where the money is from. All they care about is that they have money to spend. In a country where so many people believe in, oh, the end justifies the means, rather than the means justifying the end, we have a problem. We don't care where the money is from. We don't care who gives us money. We are only interested in filling our belly, even if it's with poison. We will. My brother, my sister, it's been peddled around that, oh, the cybersecurity machine that he was supposed to get from Israel had actually been procured and that it was sitting somewhere at the National Signals Bureau. But inventory received from the National Signals Bureau excludes that. In other words, there's nothing like that there. So where are those going around peddling the lie that he actually got that machine from Israel? And they are even showing letters from some fraudulent Israeli companies to show that this guy actually procured and then he got that and paid for that. In court, he was hot yesterday. He was asked to provide receipts for some of the things he had bought. And the news code cards are clear. He provided private receipts. Private receipts to the court. And what did the court say? And this is GH1 TV. Court shoots down Eduin's attempt to disguise his private company's receipts as those of National Signals Bureau. Remember, we already told you, according to investigators, he has siphoned money from the mother company that belongs to the state, cloned one to look like it, and he put the money straight into it and was blowing it on prostitutes and his personal whims and caprices. This guy. Right from the start, we made this clear. The official account is BNC. And he opened one, B.N.C. However, he was able to get the bankers to agree with him that B.N.C is the same thing as BNC. My brother, my sister, A.B.A is not the same as ABA. One is ABA and the other one is A.B.A. They have the same spelling, but there are dots in between. My brother, my sister, he had his way. He was the big boy. He had the state apparatus of terror. Hey, he could frighten anybody, scare any animal out of his way, kidnap you by any kind of means. Everyone was scared of him. He got the bank to be able to accept that kind of notorious thing. And he was able to steal from the state, as alleged, 7 million Ghana cedis. This little boy blew it on himself and prostitutes, doing bunga bunga on his birthday, and a few married women that he picked up and was banging left, right, and center. So, Justice Francis Apangabuno Achibonga, the no-nonsense judge, looked at him in court and probably told himself, what does this guy take us for? Little children? Give me receipts. You are giving me personal receipts of a limited liability. I am looking for the state enterprise, not a limited liability, a personal thing. And he stood in court shivering like a baby that was just seeing fire for the first time. Hallelujah. The judge refused to take the receipts, and he warned him out of anger not to try it again. Don't try it. These are receipts that are from private enterprises. We are looking for receipts from the main state outfits. I can't be asking for a receipt from National Security, or better still, from the Office of the Attorney General. Then you go and bring me receipt from Mami Water and Co. at Asuboy or at Adabraka. No, sir. We are looking for receipts from the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Official receipts. So this goes a long way to tell you that our brother most probably did what the investigators said he did. Why are the receipts coming from your private company? The judge says, don't try this trick on me. I hate that. And he quickly pocketed it and looked into the sky, probably saying, oh, Irade Yankopon. Yay, Irade Yankopon. My brother, my sister, this is Edu Boahene. There are more news code cards pushed all over the place. Remember when there was a supposed jamboree? When this woman went to court and she said that she didn't know whether Edu Boahene had stolen money or not. And people were jubilating. Fans and maybe co-thieves of Edu Boahene were jubilating in the media that even the finance person did not know whether money was missing or not. And what did the Right Honorable Dr. Justice Stremsai say? Very simple. Nobody steals money and records it. Deputy Attorney General rubbishes claims that 49.1 million Edu Boahene, stole, did not exist. From Ghana Web, my brother, my sister, more news code cards. From exchange rates to secret National Signals Bureau account, some side details shifting defense of Edu Boahene. Right now, it looked like this guy and his lawyer are confused. They don't know where to tackle. They are shifting from left to right and talking. My brother, Ghanaians cannot wait for justice to be delivered. And they are supposed to return to court on Thursday. It's a fast-track court. The president had already told us that he would love to see some of these trials done speedily. That was why the no-nonsense judge, Justice Apangabono Achibunga, was brought in, and he has time. He's sitting almost every day so that this case will be dusted. It looks like the last days of Eduin are here. And it won't be long when people will start singing the dirge. Edu, oh yeah, oh, asa my do yampo, anka mekwa koja o, kwabna oh yeah, oh, asa my do yampo, anka mekwa koja o. It will be the happiest moment in the lives of many. Ghanaians have suffered a lot because of crooks and thieves. A lot of the time, they steal and go scot-free because it's a lawless country. Politicians just come in to steal, like in a game of chess. You move one step and I move one step. We steal in batches. It's Judgment Day. One president has come, and he has shifted the whole goalposts to the land of the truth. He says, let the truth speak. And we are...
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far, so good. Say, open online portal, Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.